I was about to email my MP as a result of a petition sent to me on 38 Degrees by a lady called Trish. My MP is Brandon Lewis, Tory party chairman, and I live in Great Yarmouth. Brandon Lewis has the distinction not only of being a Tory party chairman who seems to find Tory MPs guilty of no offence, no misconduct, no racism or anything like that. He seems to have that distinction. But he's also got the dubious distinction of putting Great Yarmouth forwards as a test case for universal credit. So just a little background on my MP. But the reason behind this petition in 38 Degrees, you may not be able to see it very clearly because obviously the camera is reflecting all kinds of stupid light, so we'll kind of leave that alone. But behind this petition, there is this pretty much certainty that in Great Yarmouth alone, after no deal Brexit is forced through, over 900 people could lose their jobs. This is worrying news, as Trish rightly says, and the MPs hearing concerns of ordinary people like us should really matter. So I'm putting this in the public domain on YouTube and other channels, and I'm also sending Brandon Lewis a copy as well, so that he hears from me on email with this video attached. Please, she said, will you email your MP and in a few sentences tell them why you're personally worried about the risks of job losses if we end up with no deal Brexit? Well, I am a carer for my wife, who is seriously sick and disabled. Yeah, well, with mental illness at least, yeah, and physical illness too. So I act as her carer. That is, if you like, my job. It's what I do 24/7. Yeah, I do that. That's my job. But let's try and think about it from the point of view of not only am I incredibly concerned that when Boris pushes through no deal Brexit, as he is going to, yeah, there will be something like, well, they say there, nearly 900 people in Great Yarmouth who will lose their jobs. Obviously, local communities up and down this land, those 900 or so are going to be joined by others. It's absolutely catastrophic for our jobs and our industry when we leave. But that much aside, I also fear for myself and my wife and other people who are mentally and physically sick and disabled and cannot therefore work. As we know, the greatest cuts to social welfare, social security and medical services have been made in areas that directly affect us. Take our latest position, where my wife and I have to reapply for employment support allowance. My wife has been mentally ill since her 20s. She is in her 50s now. She has bipolar disorder. She has borderline personality disorder. And the kind of bipolar that she's got is so rapidly cycling, she could feel okay 1 minute, and then the next minute, sitting on a bus out of Great Yarmouth, she could feel like getting off that bus and going down to the river to drown herself. That's what we're dealing with. Now, how does that relate to no deal Brexit and job losses and things like that? Believe me, the Tories will still be trying to pay off their rich patrons. Yeah, they'll still be getting money from somewhere to give to their tax avoiders, their bloody huge corporations that make billions and treat their employees like cattle or slaves, and, don't allow them toilet breaks and force them to negotiate contracts for work that are not beneficial to them, but only to companies like Asda. Now, clearly the Tories are going to need to get money for that, yeah? They've already cut services to such an extent that, as Chucky Mark often says, if your grandma is seriously ill and requires a home care visit because perhaps she's doubly incontinent or nothing or something like that, she only gets a 5 or 10 minute care visit a day. As Chucky Mark said, well, she'll be sitting in a nappy, sitting in her own piss for about a few more hours because we can't afford the carers to send to her. She can't buy them because she hasn't got the money. Who's No Deal Brexit gonna hit first and hardest? Us. Sick and disabled people. We've already been demonised, obviously, by the Tory government to look like we're just hangers-on and scroungers and we all want something for nothing, and we're not really sick, yeah? So to the public, well, it probably won't matter. It probably won't matter when No Deal Brexit is, again, part of a way of killing off more of us. Over 130,000 of us have died already during this Tory government. How much worse is it going to get when Boris pushes through No Deal Brexit? Yes, Mr. Lewis, I am dreadfully concerned. I don't think you'll be able to do anything, Mr. Lewis, because obviously you support Mr. Boris Johnson all the way.